How you doing, gobblers? It's almost Thanksgiving, and you know what that means. It's almost Christmas. That's the best one anyways. Well, we did go back to school pretty recently, and that also meant that the sports team was able to go into phase 2. So, let's go see how they were able to do that.
Hey, what's up, Oilers? This is MJ, and I'll be giving y'all the rundown on the different phases for the sports here at Huntington Beach High School. Currently, we are sitting in Phase 2, which in comparison to Phase 1 is a huge step, as the athletes are now permitted to use various equipment in addition to being in larger pods. However, it's still mandatory to follow the COVID-19 precautions in order to ensure a safe environment. Next is Phase 3, which is a very important phase, as the season solely depends on the success of this phase. In this phase, the athletes will no longer be in their designated pods and will be able to practice as an entire team. There will be more teamwork and full-on practicing. But just like the previous phases, the student athletes need to abide by the COVID-19 precautions of getting their temperatures taken pre-practice, wearing a mask to and from practice, as well as keeping some distance from each other.
Well, that's just fine and dandy, isn't it? Now, there is another group on campus that had to change due to COVID, but they do have a show coming up, and that's the After the Beatles show performed by MMET. Let's go see what they're gonna do. The Beatles. Some people would call them the eighth wonder of the world, if they weren't dead. But because of how influential they were, MMET, which is a department of APA, does a yearly Beatles show. The difference this year is that it will all be online. Students were directed to record themselves playing their part of the song, and that was all passed on to the media team to scrunch it all together.
Nobody in here, so I can do this. I'm one of the directors of MMET anyway. That usually means having a rehearsal and the students come in and play, and I go, hey, that part is not quite right, and let's work on this, but we can't do that this show. So one of the things I'm doing is going through all of the sound recordings that they give me and using my expertise as a music producer, basically mixing them all together and turning all these individual pieces into something that sounds like the original records. Typically our Beatles fundraising show is a big concert. We get about 2,000 people in the concert every year, but this year we couldn't really do that because we can't do big gatherings. We also can't sing in public. For the past 5 or 6 years we've been doing these 50th anniversary Beatles shows. And before we started that series, back in 2014, we did this same show called After the Beatles, which is a show about the 10 years after the band broke up and all the different stuff they did as solo artists while all 4 of them were still alive, and there was still the possibility that maybe they would get back together. And since it is a movie, we were going to do like a live stream kind of thing online, but we're like, that's not very interesting, and it's kind of hard to do that, so we came up with the idea of using the same venue we always do, First Christian Church right up the street, and we're going to do a drive-in theater performance, like screening of this film we're making. We're going to be doing 4 of them on December 4th and 5th. That's 2 shows a night, and the sound's going to come in on your FM radio just to keep everybody, socially distanced, but yet still kind of together experiencing the film as a group. Should be fun. It's easily the biggest project I've ever been involved with in my life. And that's really saying something considering the stuff that I've seen.
Thanks, me from the past. Or, in this case, the future, because I submitted it late. Thanks, Simmons. So, due to COVID, there was a game that spiked in popularity. And it's a little game that you might have heard of called Among Us. Let's go see what that game's all about.
So unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of months, which is totally possible given our circumstances, you probably heard about the game Among Us. And if you are one of those people living under a rock and don't know what the game is, let me break it down for you. Among Us is a game similar to Mafia or Werewolf if you've ever played them, and the premise of the game is that there are up to 10 people aboard a spaceship, with 1 or 2 of them being imposters who have sabotaged the ship. The crewmate's goal is to find out who the imposter is and eject them into space, or fix the ship completely by doing tasks, while the imposter's goal is to kill all the crewmates and sabotage the ship completely. This premise creates a simple and terrifying social game, which many have found to be very fun, especially certain streamers or YouTubers as of recent such as Disguised Toast, PewDiePie, Corpse Husband, Alpharad, and way more than I'm willing to count. Obviously, due to this rise in popularity, many people have wanted to play Among Us with their friends, and luckily for you, it is free on the App Store, or if you want to play that on a PC, for a genuinely overall better experience, then it is $5 on Steam. Although the game, even on mobile, is still really easy to pick up and always a fun time. The hardest part about playing Among Us, in my experience, is getting enough people to play it. I have a group of friends on Discord that I love to play with, but it is very rare that I get 10 people in a voice call to all play together. Not to mention, half the time, it kind of just devolves into this.
I was in cafeteria.
You did not just say that. Listen to me. I was in cafeteria with.
I swear I was doing my task in electrical. I swear I was.
I was in reactor.
I was in midday.
Guys, can we please just do our tasks now?
So, I've used this small amount of publicity I've been granted in order to create a solution. I proudly announce to the 2 people still watching this show that the Oilers Among Us Discord server is live. If you ever need a group of friends to play a good old family-friendly murdering game, well then hop on the server and ask around. We have multiple voice chats and text chats, moderators who work on the Campus Update team, and assorted other things like bots and custom emojis. And hey, maybe even while playing the game you could encounter Hall Talk Guy. He's in the server. Probably. He hasn't picked up my calls. Read, please. Even though Among Us has only just now grown into popularity, it has actually been out for over 2 years, being released in June of 2018, which just goes to show that anything, given enough time, care, and development, can grow to be something beautiful. Except for Hall Talk. Because Hall Talk is bad. Pick up the phone, Reed.
Well, I can see how that game will spruce up your lying capabilities. I'm sure your parents wouldn't like that part, though. Anyways, have you ever been interested in comedy? Have you always wanted to learn from some of the best? Well, let's go see what Dylan had to say about the Comedy Club.
Hey Oilers! Today I will be covering Actors Rep Comedy Club. The Actors Rep Comedy Club is a show that features skits, monologues, and stand-ups. But that's not all the students do in this show. They also write and edit their respective parts. And if you missed the recent Halloween-themed Come and Die Comedy Club, don't worry. They host several throughout the year, and while one of these shows is coming soon, the date has not yet been set. The show has been moved to online due to the pandemic, but we hope that doesn't stop you from checking out this awesome show that students put together themselves.
I can feel myself getting funnier by the minute, unlike Reed Sharp. Well, let's go catch up with Chad as he interviews a new band that you may not have heard of called Creative Differences.
Creative Differences is a alt-rock, pop, rap, funk, reggae duo that is made up of 2 Huntington Beach High School alumni. They hate each other, but that's okay because they make good music together.
What makes you guys special?
Larson starts every morning with 3 glasses of prune juice.
Like pure.
We just don't ever want to make music. We're just going to stop making music and only release t-shirts with Larson's face on it.
This says prune juice next to it.
Yeah, and we're just going to be a prune company.
I write all of our songs.
Yep, just him.
And then Ryan will come in and he'll add the ad-libs.
Yeah, I just kind of yell in the background. I make the live performances, solely by me. Larson does nothing. He actually doesn't even play the drums. He just presses a button on his computer and then leaves the room.
No. Okay. We've been writing songs for a long time now.
We got a release schedule set up, so starting in January, we'll be doing monthly releases. By the end of the whole rotation, it should be about 10 tracks will be out. But they'll be dropping periodically throughout next year. So, we're not going to be posting our music till January. So to kind of stay in the loop for that big old stretch for about a month and a half, follow us on Bada Bing, Bada Boom. But yeah, just, pre-save. Be on the lookout because we're gonna hit the ground running when 2021 starts.
Well, I sure can see where they got their name from. Anyways, all this talking's got me pretty hungry. Oh, perfect, I know just the thing. Here's Roslyn. She's gonna show us how to make some homemade donuts for this Thanksgiving.
What's up, Oilers? It's Roslyn, and today I'm going to show you how to make fun, easy, quick, and inexpensive homemade donuts. Follow me. Okay, so let's go ahead and open our fridge and get our first ingredients, biscuits. Let's see here. Biscuits. Here's our biscuits. All right, let's go. No, just kidding. And remember, Oilers, hygiene is most important, so let's go wash our hands, take off your jewelry, and put your hair up. Because we all know the worst thing is finding a hair in your food. We're going to open our biscuits. Okay, once they're finally open, we're just gonna big whack. Okay, now we have our biscuits open as such. Go ahead and take your biscuits and lay them out on the tin. Okay. On the tin. So now you need to find something in your house to make holes with. I'm going to use the top of this jar. Although you could use a shot glass. I'm surprised we don't have one of those in this house. Or you can use the top of a bottle cap. Okay, so now you're gonna make your donut, the holes. This is where it gets pretty intense. So you're gonna press down in the middle. Spin it around. Touch the ground. Touch the bottom. Pull it up. Now we're going to go over to our stove and we're going to grab some oil. We're going to put our oil in our pan. Here's what it looks like. Okay, now let's turn on our stove and we're gonna put it on high.
No, medium high.
We're gonna put it on medium high. Wait, hold on, it's not even on. Okay, Mom. Okay. Now that our oven's on, you're gonna wanna get some paper plates, the uncoated paper plates. They work like magic. Go ahead and grab, this is like a wooden stick skewer. And remember, always wet your wooden skewer before you use it. Okay, so now while we wait for the oil to heat up, go ahead and grab yourself about 1/4 cup of sugar and some cinnamon, because these are going to be your toppings for your donut, okay? So now we're going to pour it in. If you love cinnamon, you're gonna love this. Okay, so go ahead and bring your biscuits over to the stove, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna pop out the middle pieces that we just cut out, so it looks like this. Because these are going to be our munchkin donuts for later. So go ahead and grab your wooden skewer and go ahead and put your donut in. Once we start to see it get golden brown on the bottom, we're gonna wanna flip it. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna take it out now, as you can hear my mom in the background. Okay, this actually looks very, very good. Okay, guys, now, while we have it nice and hot, take your donut. Mom, get it. Hold it. Take your donut and put it in your toppings. Mix it. Okay, it's gonna be really, really hot. I did not realize how hot it would be. Okay, mix it around like such. Go ahead and give it a flip. You know, I love double-sided things. Go ahead and double-side it. And this is very, very hot. Although I do want to take a bite, I'm gonna let it cool for a bit. And Oilers, that is how you make homemade donuts. Very, very good. My mom will be proud. Here's our little munchkins. And I would just like to give a shout out to my lovely mother for her help and guidance.
Because I am not a cook.
Because I am not a cook whatsoever. Have a good day, Oilers.
Holy smokes, those things look good. That only made me more hungry though. At least I have something to look forward to this Thanksgiving. Anyways, There will be a call talk meeting today on Zoom at 4 o'clock, and your meeting ID is 747-7352-3204, and the password is calltalk, all capitalized with no spaces. Well, that's all for today, Oilers, and remember, stay safe, you little turkeys, and keep your head up because it's almost Christmas.